Hey everyone, welcome to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. We have another just dynamite interview with a band that I just discovered. This band called Bencoolen, and these guys are really killer. I mean, great heavy guitar-driven stuff with amazing sax that it just takes this thing to a whole new level. And it's a great production, this great songwriting, everything about this is very cool. And I can't wait for you guys out there in podcast land to meet these guys. But first, let's take care of a little business. You are listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini. You can find us on the internet at LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. I'd like to thank my sponsor, Positively Pittsburgh Live Magazine, PPLMag.com. It's Pittsburgh's first internet radio, TV network, online community, and business directory where you can listen to, watch, download, receive emails with the latest audio and video created by the members of the community. And there's great articles and coupons, and you can find out about businesses. You can even post your own magazine page if you'd like. And you can listen to great podcasts like this one, the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. So you guys want to check that out? That is PPLMag.com, Positively Pittsburgh Live. Now, the band that we actually have the entire band. This is the first. So usually we've gotten a couple of members from a band on here before, but never a whole band. So this should be fun. Bencoolen's sound is maximalist rock built on soaring vocal lines, massive guitars, swift saxophone solos. They're known for their live act and have been booked in 14 cities to date, from packed bar and club gigs in D.C. to huge college party gigs around the Mid-Atlantic. Bencoolen is rising. All right, guys, so we've got Bencoolen on the phone here, and everybody go around and one by one say your name and what you do in the band.
This is Teddy. I play guitar, and I write some of the songs.
This is Paul. I sing, play guitar, and write the rest of the songs.
Okay.
This is Rick, and I play the bass.
This is Will. I'm the newest member, and I'm the drummer.
This is Jack, and I play saxophone.
All right, everybody. Bencoolen. Guys, now, how did you guys all get together? So, who wants to? Is Paul? You want to take it?
Yeah, sure. So, back when me and Teddy were youngins in college, like my freshman year, his sophomore year, we met up. We knew we wanted to play together eventually. He was in a band at the time of mostly guys who were graduating, weren't really serious about it, but just like to have fun. When they left, me and Teddy were like, all right, let's find some people and let's make this band happen. So we got Rick right away. We had an old drummer named Steve, and then our old saxophone player named Ian. And so Ian ended up leaving for the Navy. Steve ended up transferring to another school. And we had another kid named Kevin for a while playing the drums. But recently we had Will come in. He's been a really great addition. And then as far as Jack, it was kind of a thing where we met up with him after Ian knew he was going to leave for the Navy. And I don't know, this is a great incarnation of the band, and we've been playing some good stuff.
You guys have a unique sound because the songs are like a sort of a great kind of alternative guitar-driven rock type stuff, but you bring in the sax sound. Was that something that was planned, or did you guys just know Jack and it came together, or how did you guys get involved with the sax?
This is Teddy. A big influence for us is bands like Dave Matthews Bands, or for me personally, reggae acts that incorporate horn sections. So it's important for me to kind of get that vocal tone in a band. So we looked around and we found some of the best saxophone players, and fortunately we ended up with Jack to kind of trade solos with me.
Okay, very cool. Hey Jack, why don't you give us a little bit of your, since we're talking about you, why don't you jump in and give us a little bit of background?
Yeah, so I started playing saxophone back in middle school, back in Seattle, where I grew up, before I came out to GW. And I thought I was going to give it up, actually, but I was lucky enough to bump into Kevin, the old drummer that just got replaced by Will here. And he kind of got me set up with the group, and ever since then, I've just been tagging along.
Just tagging along. Hey, Teddy, how did you get these great guitar chops of yours?
Well, when I was 12 years old, my mom took me to a ZZ Top concert and started taking guitar lessons right around then. And my teacher was a Berkeley-trained musician, so he kind of kicked my ass until I was good enough. And I joined some jazz groups in high school and got away from that now and kind of just do the bluesy rock thing. But it got my fingers moving at quite a young age.
Paul, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Like, how did you get into music and songwriting and everything?
Yeah, so really early on in my life, I started playing piano. My parents just made me learn, like, classical music. And I played that for about 12 years or so. I don't play it as much just because I don't really have access to piano as much, but that's really what got me into it. So then I was like, hey, I want to play guitar now. It wasn't too bad to pick up because I kind of had the theory background going. And then in high school, when I wanted to join a band, I didn't really play guitar yet. I only played piano, but I wanted to sing. Even though I wasn't very good, I just told my friend that I could sing.
Okay.
So I joined my first band, and we weren't, like, very good. But I slowly got better at singing, slowly got better at guitar, and then just started the band with Teddy, and it's been smooth sailing since then.
Let's give the bass a little love. It's Eric, or you go by Rick?
Yeah, I was given that nickname from Ted about 2 years ago.
Okay.
Sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
All right, Rick. So tell us how you got. How did you get bit by the music bug?
My mom is a professional harpist and pianist, so I grew up listening to all different types of music. My dad is a fusion jazz nerd, and my mom likes the Police. So, and in between there, I listened to a lot of Bob Marley when I was young. So I have a very broad range of influence. But I played the piano, and then the saxophone, and then the bass guitar, and just have done that ever since. I've been playing the bass for about, I would say, 12 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay, awesome. And, Will, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Jump on in, buddy. While we're giving our life story, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, buddy?
Okay, well, I started playing piano first, actually, like the two previous people. And I was trained classically there, and then I went on to viola, actually, next, so that was in third grade. And I played viola until my senior year of high school. And then I moved on to drums when I was 10. And then I moved on to guitar when I was probably 14 or something. So I've kind of gone around a few different instruments. But drums was my favorite for me. I kind of stopped playing a little bit once I got into college because it's pretty difficult to find access to drums here if you're not in the music department. But I've known Jack for all of college, and he kind of got me into the Bencoolen scene, and it's been great. It's been a dream.
Anybody can take this one here. So can you guys maybe in words? I know it's hard to describe your sound in words, but if you could put it into words, one of you guys want to announce yourself and jump in and sort of describe your sound?
Sure, it's Paul, and the whole maximalist rock thing is actually a really good way to describe it. One of our friends wrote a little article about us, and he was the first one to use that. And we read that, and we were all like, that makes a lot of sense. Pretty much our first EP, which is kind of the only music online right now of us, a friend of ours named Marty helped us produce that and record it. And he was very into like metal and like heavier genres, and that kind of showed through with like the really thick kind of guitar tones and kind of stacked power chords on some of the songs from that EP. which really speak to that kind of maximalist vibe. But since then, we've gotten, especially adding in Will, who is very influenced by kind of like funk and like kind of that alternative funk that you see today, like Snarky Puppy, some of like those bands coming up from the South who kind of play a funky type of alternative rock. It's been kind of permeating through even like the arrangements that we already have. So some of those songs that you hear on the EP, you'll hear them live, and it'll be a bit different just because we have different influences coming in. Even on our new album coming up called In Color, the title track there is actually kind of a very reggae vibe. And even some of the other ones, we got like a kind of rockabilly type feel song. We got kind of a ballad going on. So we have that maximalist rock that we started with, that kind of very alternative, thick guitars, and we're moving not completely away, but kind of spreading out with this kind of funky reggae kind of rock that we're doing now.
So you right now, all that's out is the EP. What about what about the album In Color? Like, when is that gonna be out?
We're starting the release cycle at the end of April. This is Teddy, by the way. But the entire album itself will be out on May 12th. So we have a lot of Kickstarter donors who are going to be getting their stuff a little bit before May 12th, but for everybody else, May 12th is the big day.
And where do you guys record, and who's producing the new record?
This is Teddy again. We recorded over at Bias Studios in Springfield, Virginia, which is actually a studio where both Prince and Dave Matthews have recorded, so it kind of had a magical vibe playing over there. It was fun. And the producer of our record was someone named Lyle Roeder. He's a musician who graduated from Georgetown, and he's in a pop group called Tigers Are Bad for Horses. They played down at South by Southwest this year. Very different sound, but excellent musician and a great person to have on the project with us.
And you guys sort of have a reputation for your live show. One of you guys, I don't know who wants to jump in and talk about the live side of Bencoolen, but could you guys, because what I've been reading about online is it's a real party.
Hey, this is Rick, and I would have to agree with those online comments. I would say our performances can be a bit rowdy. That goes along with the crowd, obviously. I mean, most of our, you could say, fans are college students. We're all recent grads or current college students. So the attitude is obviously energetic, and we have a lot of enthusiasm both on stage and off stage. So I would say it can be a little loud, and it can be a little hot and sweaty, but that's what you want when you go to a concert that has our genre of music and the energy that we provide to our fans and the people that come to our shows.
What do you always say, Teddy?
Yeah, you guys want to, if anybody wants to add something to it, go ahead.
Well, I always tell the kids when we get on stage to make sure that they buy a beer because we sound better when they're drunk.
Okay. So now you guys have got some cool, like you got like won a couple of awards or something, haven't you? Did I read that right?
Yeah. Right in January of 2015, I think. Yeah, about a year ago now. We were named the best college band in Washington, D.C. We went up to Georgetown University, competed against a bunch of different schools. We were the nominee from George Washington, and we came out on top, fortunately. They had judges from the Sweet Life Festival, 930 Club, the Duke Ellington School, so it was a great honor for us. We got what looked like a football trophy at the end, but it was great to hold it up and take some pictures and win that award.
Cool. And you guys have done, well, you've done you've worked as an opener for some national acts. Want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we always have at the school, we always have a fall concert and like a spring fling type concert. So one of my friends, the previous semester for spring, had his band kind of negotiate with the student organization that runs the booking process, and he opened up for that show. It was I think he opened for Jay Sean. So then the next cycle through, we were like, all right, well, they just had a pop act, so maybe they'll have a rock act. Like, let's hit them up, try to get that gig, and it'd be a big one because there's always a bunch of people there. They give out free stuff, and then there's good music. So we heard that they were going to have a band called Cold War Kids. So yeah, our big national act playing that. So we had, I think Rick was in charge of that booking, but he went back and forth, and we got on that bill. And it was a lot of fun. Biggest stage we played on to date, and great sound. And we had all of our friends in the front, and then a bunch of other kids we didn't even know in the back. So
it's one thing when your friends like you. It's a whole other thing when people have never heard you before, really groove on you. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
So if you guys could work with any national act, what's your dream? Who would you guys like to play with?
This is Teddy. I think Eric's going to want to add on to this when I'm done. But for me personally, a band called The Revivalists out of New Orleans. They're kind of rising right now. They've just got their first feature in Rolling Stone, so you might have caught them now. But the live act they have between their lead singer, David Shaw, interacting with the crowd, their sax player who gets better every time we see him, and their legendary pedal steel guy, is just they're a group that we really look up to. They've evolved from album to album to become better musicians and connect with us as musicians. So performing ahead of them, near them at a festival someday would kind of be my dream. Eric.
All right.
I think the number 2 would probably be Alan Stone. He's actually from Washington as well, similar to Jack. He's a up-and-coming blues, R&B, pop artist, and he's really making some awesome music right now. Paul and I are big fans of him, and I would say he's very similar in terms of the energy he brings to a concert like the Revivalists, and I think that would be probably our number 2 in order to hop on stage with them.
What's the best thing, guys, about being in a band? You can go around and just jump in as you feel, but what's for you? Just whatever your personal feeling is. What's the best thing about being in a great band like this?
So for me, this is Rick, by the way. It's tons of fun where you can not worry about anything else. So Ted and I work, and being able to leave on Friday afternoon, hop in a car, pack up, and go to wherever we're going, where you can just goof off and play some music. It's the best stress reliever on this planet. There's nothing better.
Yeah, this is Jack. I just have to say the best part has been being able to travel up and down the coast a little bit as of recently and get to a couple different places and cities I normally wouldn't have been able to see without us performing in them. And I know being in D.C. has kind of been constricting as a college student, so having the opportunity to go out and explore and play these fun gigs at all these different places has been really cool.
Anybody else want to add something? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Teddy. I like going into these new cities, even these fraternity parties, because you know you're going to get an honest reaction because they don't owe you anything. None of your friends are in the front row to kind of block you. So when those crowds kind of look up from their back porch and rush up to the stage, and sometimes they're excited enough that they try to start singing along or play air guitar solos, or at our last show at Bucknell, we had a handful of people get on the stage and dance with us. It's just an unreal experience to just win over complete strangers and feel that energy with them.
Yeah, and I guess to add to that, this is Will. I haven't really ever had this experience before, and I'm new to this, so it's been kind of a shock, but a very good one. And I think my favorite part is playing this music and watching the reactions of fans and the people in the crowd, and being able to play music that inspires them to just start dancing like crazy just is an amazing and incredible experience, and it's been awesome.
Well, it sounds like you guys are having a freaking blast, man. That's very awesome. The music is great too. So what does the next 6 to 12 months look like for Bencoolen? Or do you even plan that far in advance?
Yeah, well, the way the book, this is Teddy, I handle a lot of the booking. The way that it's shaping up is we're really rooting for Will to get a job so we can hop on some bar gigs on the East Coast so we can for the summer. But I'm getting ready to start booking fraternity parties in the fall already. And we've got signed on to this, I guess they call it a platform. It's not really an agency. It's called Beat Gig. And what they do is they scope out the best college bands, really, or bands that like to play for college crowds all around the country, from Arizona down to the southeast part and all the way up to us in D.C., and get them moving around and getting paid gigs playing frat parties. And it's kind of a niche scene, but a lot of big bands have started that way, and that's kind of what we're doing with them. And then pretty much every week, I reach out to the Hail Marys, the Allen Stones, the Revivalists, anyone that we can think of that might be coming through D.C. to see if we can open. Don't have too many hits yet, obviously, but those are all things that we're trying for.
Anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah, I guess the only other thing would be that we have this album coming out, and then something that we kind of see making more sense in the future is kind of having a constant stream of singles rather than the traditional album format that a lot of people do these days. It works if you can market it with a lot of money and like a Billboard kind of top hit band or act. Mm-hmm. But I think for smaller bands and smaller artists, it makes more sense to kind of give your fans a constant stream rather than this kind of overload dump once a year, once every 1.5 years,
Right. There's a lot of artists that I talk to are doing things that way. So guys, you guys have a lot going on. You're like playing all over the place. How can people keep in touch or catch up with what you have going on?
This is Teddy. We have everything from a website to a Twitter, which is Bencoolen Music. Same thing for Instagram, Bencoolen Music. You can find us on Facebook. You can get our music on Spotify, Bandcamp. You Google Bencoolen Band and you'll find us, no matter where you are in the world.
And hey, I need to ask you that. What is Bencoolen? Because it's obviously not a member of the band. Yeah. Which one's Ben?
People do, yeah. This is Paul. People always say, "Who's Ben?" And then we're like, "No one." They're like, "What?" So when I was growing up, I went to high school for a few years in Singapore. And one of the things out there is that all their streets are either named after places in Malaysia, places in Indonesia, or people from England who founded it. So there was this street it was Bencoolen Street. It was named after an island in Indonesia, and it had a mall on it. And that's actually where I bought my first guitar. And
the real story is that.
Oh boy! Wait a minute. Now we're gonna get the real story.
All right. Oh, sure. So he did buy his first guitar there, but he also bought his first fake ID.
Well, what good's a guitar without a fake ID, right?
Yeah.
Hey guys, before we go,
that's the story there.
Is there anything you would like the world to know about Bencoolen before we roll out of here?
I think the big thing is to get out there and see some live bands play. Whether you're in D.C. or Baltimore, all these bars that I've gone into, there's still great rock and roll music, still great reggae music, and just because it's not in the top 40 anymore doesn't mean it's not still important, and you can see it still connects with people. So hopefully, every person we meet, we make them a fan, and they bring one more person the next time, but I just encourage people to get out there and find Bencoolen.
All right, guys. Bencoolen, that is bencoolenmusic.com, and if you just Google Bencoolen, you're gonna find it. It's a very unique name for a band, so you're gonna come right up with it. Guys, we wish you all the best. Especially with the release of the record coming up here in a few months. And because I love your last record, I bought it on Bandcamp right away. I thought it kicks freaking ass. So I'm really excited to hear what you guys have coming up next. Wish you all the best with that, and hopefully we'll get to interview you again after the album comes out, and when you're big stars. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, Lou.
Thank you.
No problem. You guys take care, man. All right, rock hard.
All right. Have a good night.
See you guys. Hey, everyone, that was Bencoolen. Really good band. I'm looking forward to playing them on the Music Podcast. But then you can listen to Music Podcast, by the way, at Loudini rockandrollcircus.com. Once again, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Positively Pittsburgh Live, pplmag.com. If you like bands like Bencoolen and artists like Guy King and Cora Lee, and just these amazing acts that we've been featuring here, people, just from a wide range of great rock and roll. I want you to go to supportindierock.com and get involved, because we could definitely use your help. We want to do a lot more, especially like a band like Bencoolen. They're like a micro act in the sense that they are not playing big stadiums and stuff like that. They're out there in the trenches. They're playing frat parties, which is a lot of fun, and it's a great way to get some fans. But there's a lot more that we could be doing to help these guys. And if you want to get involved, go to supportindierock.com. My name is Lou Lombardi. This is the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Once again, the website is loudinirockandrollcircus.com. Guys, thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you on the next podcast.